Bertie, are you gonna stay there? Okay, nobody move. No loud noises. This is a big deal. Little bird is here, and if we're very, very quiet, she might actually stay here for the entire video. This is a big deal, you guys. This is a big deal. Hi everyone, I'm attorney Aiden Durham with 180 Law Co. in Colorado. Welcome back to All Up in Your Business, where me and I hope Little Bird are gonna go through your comments and answer your legal questions. I really might have to whisper for this entire thing. This is going to turn into an ASMR legal video pretty soon, probably. Before we get into all of your questions and comments, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Bird would love it if you would click that little bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. And of course, be sure to check the description for links to additional information and resources. This is so exciting. I'm so happy you're here. Oh, what a sweet little angel. What a sweet little angel baby you are. Huh? You gonna stay here the whole time? Okay. Okay, you guys. Let's be careful. Let's be quiet, but let's answer your questions, okay? Can I launch my business while my trademark application is still pending? The answer is not only can you, but you actually have to launch your business while your trademark application is still pending. The trademark won't be registered until you've actually started using it in commerce, which usually means launching your business, launching your products or your service, having them out there available for purchase and using the trademark in connection with them. So can I? Yes, and you actually need to. Hello, I have a quick question. Can I apply for a trademark with a virtual address? And if a number is required as well, can I also use a virtual number? Yes and yes. Virtual addresses are fine. Virtual phone numbers are fine as well. The USPTO doesn't require a phone number on the application, but you can provide one. And if you get a virtual phone number, you can do that. Same with a virtual office. Hi, I'm just doing my trademark research and I found a business with a similar name as what I was planning to use, but they are in a different industry. Can you please advise me on the best way to handle that? Technically, no, I can't advise you on anything because I'm not your lawyer. What I can tell you to do is consult with a trademark lawyer. That's really all you can do. Oh no, Birdie. Oh, she left us. Oh, well, it was good while it lasted. Come back, Bird. Oh. All right, Bird's gone. Anyway, similar name, different industry. It depends on exactly how similar the names are and how similar or closely related the industries are. Based on what you've told me, I can't tell you. I can't give you any advice aside from to consult with a trademark attorney. Are you coming back? Come on. Oh my God, it's a Christmas miracle. It's a Christmas miracle, you guys. Birdie, you have no idea how much this means to me. You don't know how much this means to me. Can you get your butt out of my face though? Can you use pictures, photos, videos, etc. found online, but then tweak them and or add written language or other stuff to them to make it your own? Or is this infringement? Yes, can you? Yeah, you can do that. Is an infringement? I don't know. I don't know. There's no like line. There's no black and white line or rule that says if you take a picture from the internet and you add this many words to it or change 20% of it, then it's not infringement. That's not how it works. Yes, there are circumstances where if you take a work like a photo or a picture or something from somebody else and you change it, you add or take away elements, you change it to some extent that is considered transformative or fair use and wouldn't be considered copyright infringement. But when that is the case, it's circumstantial, completely fact dependent. So can you do that? Yeah. Is it always going to be copyright infringement? No, but that doesn't mean it's not copyright infringement either. So if you're unsure, you should consult with a lawyer. My question would be, is it absolutely necessary to have a registered agent? Well, I mean, assuming your state where your LLC or your corporation or company is registered, assuming your state requires that the entity have a registered agent, then yeah, it is absolutely necessary. I mean, I guess you could not have a registered agent and your LLC would be non-compliant. So in that sense, it's not necessary. But if you want a compliant entity and your state requires a registered agent, then yeah, it's completely necessary. And I'm not aware of any state that doesn't require a registered agent for an entity. I suppose there could be one, but I don't believe so, because without that, how would any of us know how to sue an entity? That's the purpose of the registered agent, is so basically the rest of us know where to direct our court paperwork if we have to sue an entity, because an entity is not a person. It doesn't have hands, it doesn't have arms, it can't accept service process. Yeah, it's necessary. It's necessary. Bird's gone, by the way, in case anyone's wondering where she is. She went to hide in the closet like a bird's want to do during the day. Just a lazy little bird, like sleep in the dark all day. Wish I could be Bird. Okay, I registered a foreign entity in Georgia. I want to keep my trade lines and EIN. Can I dissolve the one I have in Florida? I'm assuming what this question means is that I have an LLC in Florida and I registered that LLC as a foreign entity in Georgia. I want to keep my trade lines and EIN the same. Can I dissolve the entity in Florida? So what you did, you've got an entity in Florida. You have a Florida LLC. It's a domestic LLC in Florida. You have registered that domestic LLC as a foreign entity in Georgia. You did not create a new entity in Georgia. You registered this one existing LLC as a foreign entity in Georgia. So let's think, if I dissolve this LLC in Florida, what exists in Georgia? Nothing. Because it's not a new entity. It's a registration of the only LLC, really. So can you dissolve the LLC in Florida? Sure, but that's going to essentially dissolve, negate, get rid of the foreign entity authorization in Georgia because the entity no longer exists. If you're trying to figure out how to do this, you should consult with a lawyer who is licensed in probably Florida and or Georgia. Question: I'm a single member LLC, disregarded entity. Do I only pay employment tax on the amount that I take out to pay myself? Is the money sitting in my business bank account subject to self-employment tax, or only the amount that I pay myself? Sorry, this was confusing. Thanks. You pay self-employment tax on all of the LLC's income, regardless of how much you take for yourself personally as pay. A single member LLC is a disregarded entity, so the IRS taxes you as if the LLC doesn't exist. If your LLC, let's say for simplicity, has a taxable income of $100,000, you have a taxable income personally of $100,000 and you have to pay self-employment tax on that income. Your entire income isn't subject to self-employment tax. There's a cap on how much is subject to self-employment tax, but the answer to your question is yes, you pay self-employment tax on all of the money, not just what you pay to yourself. When choosing a lawyer to assist me in trademarks and copyrights, can any lawyer accomplish this, or do I need someone specializing in this area? Technically, any lawyer can help you with it, assuming they are authorized to practice law in front of the United States Patent and Trademark Office and the Copyright Office, which in both instances, at least as far as I'm aware, they just have to be licensed in some state or district in the US. So technically, yes, any lawyer can help you with it. Does that mean that any lawyer should help you with it? No, not really. Just like I would be doing my clients a great disservice if I tried to help them with like some civil litigation matter. I believe that, it is a good idea for and we're ethically required. We're required to, we can't take on clients if we can't do the job well. Otherwise, we're not doing our job and it's a violation of our ethical requirements and blah, 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 blah. So, trademarks are more complicated than a lot of people realize, and that applies to lawyers as well. When I started doing trademark law, I thought it was going to be easy. You submit a form, you talk to the USPTO a bit, how much work, how hard could it be? It turns out it's a lot more complicated than I initially thought. And my first trademark application, I really didn't know what I was doing. I eventually started to learn more, and now I know what I'm doing. But when we're doing it for the very first time, when we don't know anything about trademarks, even as lawyers, we may not do everything correct. We may not do it the right way. We may screw things up. So best thing to do, ideal case scenario, is that you work with a lawyer who specializes or has a lot of experience and knowledge with intellectual property, like trademarks and copyrights. But technically, you could have any lawyer do it for you. Can your logo be an image of an actual person, or does it have to be an animated, cartoonish, or graphic type image? Example, if I wanted to use a picture of my mom for her home baked goods, or my own image for homemade soups, etc. Thanks so much for your channel. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, a logo can be an image of an actual person. That's totally fine. It doesn't have to be a cartoon or hand-drawn or graphic or anything. It can be an actual person's photo. That reminds me of a funny story. It has really nothing to do with anything that we're talking about except for photos being used as logos. But actually, little birds. So I fostered little birds. What's a group of kittens called? Litter. I fostered her litter when she was a teeny tiny little kitten. I fostered her. I had to give them back to the animal shelter because all of the kittens came down with ringworm. So the kittens go back to the shelter for treatment. A couple months later, I go to China. I'm traveling through China. Boom, guess what? Ringworm pops out on my shoulder out of nowhere. I thought I had gotten away without getting ringworm from the kittens. Turn out, yeah, I got it anyway. So what do you do when you have ringworm in China, in a country where you don't speak the language, you don't know the language at all, and you have no idea what to do? You go to the internet and you Google translate ringworm into Mandarin Chinese, and then you go into a pharmacy in the city that you're in and you show the nice pharmacist lady the photo of the word for ringworm, and she hands you what appears to be a tube of this magical cure-all cream that has the photo of a nice elderly, I assume Chinese woman on it. I like to think it's someone's pleasant aunt or grandma who created this beautiful cure-all topical ointment that, from what I could tell from translating the tube, it cures the cold, it cures, cold sores, it cures ringworm, it cures everything under the sun. So anyway, that's what brought that to mind, is that the logo for this tube of ointment, if I can find it, I'll take a picture and post it. The logo is just the photo of this nice old woman. So there you go. There's your 20-minute answer to, yeah, your logo can be a photo of a person as well. Would we get in trouble for using the word metaverse in a business name since it is trademarked? Of course, the answer to this question is it depends. Would we get in trouble for using just because a word is trademarked, just because someone has a trademark registration for a word, that itself doesn't mean that no one can ever use that word in their business name. Trademark registration doesn't give you a blanket ownership of a word in every single context ever. And same goes with metaverse. And in fact, there are currently, as of the date that I'm filming this, there are currently 14 registered trademarks in the US that are metaverse or include the term metaverse. And the earliest one was from like 1997, I think, is when it was either first used or registered. So like Meta, Facebook, Meta, they didn't invent the word metaverse, they didn't coin the term metaverse, and they don't own the term either. It looks like it's being treated as a generic or a descriptive term because a lot of these new trademark registrations are having to disclaim the word metaverse because it describes stuff. So no, you won't get. Will you get in trouble? I don't know. It depends on how you're using it. If you're using it for something similar to what like Meta Facebook is using it for, potentially. If you're using it for something that's similar to all of these other 14 trademark registrations, potentially. But solely just the one single fact that you're using the word metaverse in your business name, that on its own, in a vacuum, no, isn't enough to just get you in trouble for that. Okay. All right. That's it, you guys. Wow. What a great day for looking at your comments and answering your questions. We had a little bird sighting. Oh my God, that was exciting. We had 2 little bird sightings. What a great way to cap off 2022 here at All Up in Your Business with answering questions and comments. and little bird. Thank you all for being here. If you learned a thing or two, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. Check the description for links to additional information and resources. If you want to keep watching more All Up in Your Business, I've got another fun video that you can check out right here. I'll meet you over there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aiden Durham, and I'll see you next time. I'm Aiden Durham. Little birdie, you could have been hanging out with me the whole time. That would have been so exciting, little bird.